Travel around Haert. By L.T. Zupan. Read by L.T. Zupan. Published by Leo Thomas Zupan IV. Copyright 2017 by Leo Thomas Zupan IV. Escapade 3. Quote, tore the digital down. The indigo children. End quote. Maynard Keenan. Chapter 22. America Peaks to Depart. 1 dash 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 dash. So Navajo Peak. By Nederland, by Apache Peak, is North America's and Earth's true peak. At least of one kind, with its crystal crown thing. Fractal down from that is Magnolia, then Nederland, then Boulder, then Denver. Arunachala, in Taya, India, is Earth's heart, though it also isn't. We didn't know these things then, and we went to Nederland and Magnolia instead, then Boulder, Denver. Nederland start. We drove up that one road and found around a whipping curve there was some kind of pool or pond thing, and we said, whoa, what the fuck is that? There's a magical vibe over there, and then yes, of course, it was Nederland. 2 dash 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 dash. Nederland, if it exists, is like Washington fucking Square. We walked around, me and Mouse, with her little buzz cut and her little cute girly body, telling me earlier she'd go straight to a cop and have her name run to prove she was 19 if I wanted to. Of course I wouldn't. She may have knew. Old soul Mouse. When we were at a legal campground, she called me a lion with my motherfucking name being Leo, too, and all that, right, whatever. We walked around the little 7-block radius of a tiny town they call Nederland, and rainbow kids appeared instant to welcome us. They said it's a magical town, and it is. One dude said he had no ID on him, so he didn't exist if cops tried to fuck with him. Seemed a little off somehow, but whatever. We stayed at Magnolia a night earlier, and they said they'd cleared the energy of that place, and we went to their RV. It was electrical for one night, then burnt out. We went down to Boulder. The Juggalos helped us in Boulder, and that was somewhat redeeming to the who fucking cares stress they caused before, but I know I don't care right. Funny. So bored. Kind of. 3 dash 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 dash. Lebanon. No, Denver. Wake me up. We went to another main strip of another town. Mouse now believed I meant it. When I can stop drugs at will back at Vegas, we were sitting on sidewalk. and an identified as gay, rich Hispanic approaches and tries to hold and stroke my body. I pulled back a little, saying no with my body language, and he smacked me in the face, saying, "You don't ever disrespect me." And I could see Mouse and others hungry for violence. I diffused the whole retarded, stressful thing, and we left Colorado to go east. Next was, I'm sure all sorts of things left out here. I've lost my volition to be Haert, a little nothing town in Illinois. College town recommended on the road, maybe gas jugging, as it were. We strolled around disappointed, as an active verb, and left untraced as steps. 4 Louisville. We sought a place where heady people are, and was directed one place, and it lamed, and then to another that had a moment or two. So we sat out front, and some kids was actually cool. Kind of refreshing, you know? Anyways, some weird fucks annoyed us. Then we floated through to Tennessee to pick up a rainbow couple after a strange night of arguments from a strange hotel geography in no sequential order. Gianno. 5 Nashville is always rad, too. Cops helped us get back in our no sequence order locked car door. These rainbow couple kids were looking for a Tennessee community, you see. We drive them all the way across that state, first, second, to be nice and see what a Tennessee rainbow community is like. Mouse guilt-tripped when I wouldn't pick up sketch hitchers. She didn't know. We argued and screamed at her, "You hear me screaming? I shouldn't be screaming. This should never happen." And that ended her passive-aggressive bullcrap. We arrived at the community to find it like a ghost field. Dude of the couple said he thought it was eerie. So we're sitting there, right? And he gets shaman drunk and starts channeling. I used to want to go to all-female prisons also, to have sex. But then I done heard of this male prison guard who gets caught by 6 female prison inmates, and they tie him up, rape him, and stick a pencil in his urethra so he can keep going. I started to fathom breaking up with Mouse. We take them to a hospital in the rain because she had an issue with her leg. They tried to guilt us about not staying and helping even more. They give me 1,000 Afghani banknote and tell me it's worth $120 if we can convert it somehow. We proceed to drive all around the east to every main bank of every main town on our way to Asheville and Gainesville. It was like a bank tower tour. Learned a lot about bank culture system folks. Stems. 6 They all say no, we go to Asheville. Because the imagery doesn't match with current Afghani notes. Or you need a fucking account or nothing, other things. We go to Asheville. I get a bottle of rum and finish this fucking book. In Asheville, street kids give us a half rip-off of a ganja weed deal. The one street kid says that town will be ashes by the time he's done with it. Asheville. Yeah, real ha. 7 We did a bunch of other shit. Then we ran out of cash. She started getting stressed and then started hating me more. I kicked her out of my car, and she didn't feel gone until I got her romance books out from under the passenger seat and threw them to the Georgia IHOP ground, and she screamed and kicked my door with a dent, fixing the dent and creating a smaller one. I went on alone to Gainesville, Florida. Upon arrival, I found it to be a ghost town. It never is. The fucks at Maud's and its alley were sad and empty, wisp blue dust from cracks in red ground bricks, rectangle shapes swirling. You have no way of knowing when and when I'm not drinking this fucking rum. If I even am now. So give it up. I waited, sleeping in my little Ford Tempo. I called her Shirley Tempo. Or just Tempo. Formulating a sell my car to go to Mexico plan until Wednesday, that farmer's market day there. I meet Tim's look-alike who's obsessed with spice. For those who don't know, a legal, mild hallucinogen available at that Florida Head 2013-ish at least. He bored me, but illustrated lineage for so much that is worth. Then on Weds, I met back with Tim, Breezy, and Potato, and he acted like he was my dad. We're in his stupid fucking apartment complex of some other girl named Mouse, of course, who was all flirty with me. Then he's dealing mushrooms again around town, and we go to some club, and this black group is playing kick-ass hip-hop, and he doesn't get it, misinterprets how good it felt when they started shouting and chanting, "I am the best." And he fucking equates it to some beat-your-chest animal bullshit. I am the best, he thinks, in the nastiest of ways. Fuck that. At least he laughs when I say I like how the Flava-looking dude shuffles, too. They really were a talented group, though. I was trying to help facilitate bridging the fucking town and globe and so forth. So, I'm tripping on mushrooms and at Mouse's, and he takes advantage and shows how he has an evil side, and it's the same as his good side. How fucking fun. For me, getting treated like a POS, because some fucking kid has an epiphany I had when I was 11. I said I'd see him again when I awaken, as he thankfully left. Now, I take it back. As he leaves, Mouse number 2 picks up where he fucking left off. She starts playing fucked up music when I'm tripping, and asks for relaxed music, and starts using freaky tones of voice on purpose, and brandishes this knife she has and 5 other fucking things, including talking about how she isn't into murder. I don't even want to rehash what made me avoid hallucinogens for some fucking time from those fucking former fucking so-called friends that I had already helped a lot. Whatever. 8. Dash. I give a stone mouse from the first mouse to the evil flirty second mouse's daughter, who hides it from here after her mom had yelled at her all night. I don't know if she ever deserves to have it found for herself. Nice daughter, though. Very witch-like in a great way. So I go, even though everyone, as usual, wanted me to stay. Sleeping in my car south of Gainesville. Going on that old East Coast Florida highway. Sad and barren, I see Titusville and stupid Daytona. Though one place was nice to me because it's where all the nice people were hiding. I do love Florida, though, don't get me wrong. Even Daytona has some of my love. Fucking pissed off, though, from mistreatment these days. My dad was evil on the phone again. I destroyed calling him again for quite some time. Went to Miami Chop Shop and gave my car already near dead beyond repair to some supporting celebrity-looking Hispanic shady cat who gave me $400 cash for my title and key. I would have walked to a bus to an airport, international airport, but they said after they weighed my car D for its metal that I'd get killed walking to that bus, and gave me a ride to a train station where everyone looked like they'd kill me. Except this one Ice Cube looking one who truthfully saved the fucking day with his spatial aura vibes, radius, and stuff. I get to that airport, buy a fucking ticket to Cancun to have $140 in my pocket upon arrival. After 2 days of airport slee, ping, the bastards let me leave. Chapter 23, Mexica. 1 dash 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 dash. So, $140, right? I take an airport city bus to main low-class bus terminal of Cancun and walk out to get spanged by American thinking I had cash to spare. I smoke weak in a huge outdoor area with Cancun hippies and kick it in their apartamento, then catch a bus to Playa del Carmen. European plasticas are partying there, and a club with a huge deity statue is there. I float around drunk and disappointed and sad. Some girl uses me, and I walk home alone to get robbed by poor policia for my remaining 800 pesos, $80, and sleep in the hostel drunk as fuck, deciding to kill myself soon. Two dash 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 dash. I call my parents and tell them the situation and say, look, I'm going to a community called Pachamamas in Costa Rica, and they can fund that, or I'm going to get some rope from the side of one of these roads and tie a hangman's knot with 13 loops and find a tree where no one is somewhere, and that is it. They sent me cash. I went south to Guatemala through that spider-sounding border town name, get searched earlier again by police who kind of wanted to rob me, but didn't, and went to Lake Atitlan, Guatemala. Chapter 24, Guatemala. 1 dash 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 dash. This time I went to San Marcos, La Laguna, instead of San Pedro in Lago Atitlan, Lake Atitlan, which is a more mellow form of a town compared to San Pedro, which is a sort of party town. I stayed at the nice hotel for a night. Then to the cheap On, which said they only had 3 break-ins a year. And that's supposed to be low, so I said fuck you mentally to them in a low voice, with my mind's mouth. I went back to the Englishman's Run diner to escape metaphysical know-it-allers, and they hated on me giving cash to a bum that appeared. I left to the coffee shop, bookshop, library to meet an arrogant girl who had never been rejected and needed to use me for that. Great. I went to that other famous Guatemala place and then Honduras. Chapters 25 and 26, Honduras and Nicaragua. 1 and dash 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 dash. Look, I don't even remember Honduras this time. Some town, I think. And 1 dash 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 dash. Nicaragua consisted of a town of forgotten name that no one goes to except those who know it's rad. And I suppose I would find it on a map, you know. I'm there at the Traveler's Hostel, Aprisand. I meet this woman at the adjacent bar. Across that street thar, I order the expensiver drink of and Coke whiskey, Cuba Libre, whatever the fuck it was. Homegirl appears and says, ones around here who backpack don't usually afford that drink. I said, yeah, cool, smile, great, aren't sunglasses fucking cool? I never wear them myself, my eyes stay so exposed. And I tell her the mouse dent story, sad and despondent, playing perturbed. Isn't that bad? I ask, she tells no. I wish she'd broken a wine bottle and scraped it all over a hood of a Tempo. I told her I'm willing to die for love. Farewell. And Nicaragua threatened me on the way out for my last time, though it acts as though it's changed in current times. I do believe it now, but whatever. Chapter 27. Ostion. 1. Saturday return. I went first to that fucking town you can take a ferry over to Montezuma from first. To hear as I had rope in my bag that earthquakes were following me, how magnitudificent. Some fucker follows me to my hotel, threatening me, and hotel owner says, no, it's fine, walk to that obscure corner and you can find a cab. Right? I said, no, the fucking cab's gonna go right to this fucking front door, you fuck. I take a bus to another bus to another bus to another 7-mile walk with gear, scraping my collarbones to Pachamama's front door to some folks who greet me nasty, saying it's not the right season, but stay here regardless. And no one can give me space. It's supposed to be a sacred space and community, but they can't handle how I want to be alone in my paid-for cabana for hours at a time. Some kid staying there threatens me subtly. Some know-it-all calls me smart because I know what an energetic field is. So I go to Montezuma Avenge to find some popular bar where some middle-upper-class French boy with cool hippie hair plays techno and dominates with his stupidity music until Nirvana About a Girl plays, and I sing it perfect because anyone can. That was highlight. So anyways, I get burnt out on their classism and find the street kids. I give them everything, they take me back to some uppity complex and they drain all my cash for coke. I can just never give them enough, you fucking see. So I see, so fuck it. 2 ... Dominical was my third attempt to rent a place in Costa Rica, and everyone was so corrupt, including my parents, that I quit. After doing a lot of coke on my way out and getting to another frequency level that everyone orbited my aura, my energy, until it was too much for them, me just sitting there vibing, so I go to Uvita to find a hanging tree. Other towns, too, with stupid surfer hostels, no hatred to surfers, of course. They stole my beer and kind of cared when I expressed my suicidal tendencies phase. If they weren't stupid, they just didn't know what feelings are. They didn't. Maybe it's changed. Hope so. Some stupid fucker was all tall and sad. He knew healers that needed to locate me to help me. I found that tree and near did it. It didn't have branches that would snap, which was nice. I decided to wait one more town. 3 ... Left things out. Everver. Ostional. Outside the wall. I went southwest and found a little town called Ostional. Best energy I'd ever felt until then, more or less. I explained to the locals that I had cash but couldn't find a tree or hostel, and claimed my kids had just died because racing them definitely had, at least. Fuck stars. And so, they all get in a circle around me and gave me a charge. I stayed at some local woman's guest room and had some epiphanies that were probably timed with some minor changes in the biologic family up in the States up there had. Yeah, and it was. Like a worm, this song crept into my head from a distant past of hearing it back when I was 11, Outside the Wall by Pink Floyd, with all of its lyrics. The ones you really love walk up and down outside the wall, and when they've given you their all, some stagger and fall. After all, it's not easy, banging your heart against some mad bugger's wall. That was it. Maybe I can write this book and make music. Maybe I'm ready now. After quivering by all those so-called trees and other things. 4 ... I escaped Hako when I was threatened with the newfound classic "my kids were killed" line. I went to Tamarindo, hated it, and puddle hoped to a physically abusive, teenage-minded cop, and flew from some town with Mary in the name, near San Jose, Costa Rica, after clearing energetic confusion to do with smoking zonas. I said to the energetic auric linchpin security kid, around 20, that I just didn't understand. Each differente persona tells me differente zonas are okay to fuma, smoke. So I walked far away to smoke. He finally said, "Oh, okay, I understand, yeah. That makes sense." That's my quote, not his, BTW. Fuck you, readers, I love you. Thanks for you sing me. No more books for quite a while. Kuan Yin, all the best to you. 4th poem, Kwanaya. Yen all your kwasens, Kuan Yin, Kwanaya, you all yin. I can hear your tones drift through, and the visions that carry on with it. You there for me every time no one was. Tobacco's the nearest loyalty. Not even chai competes. Let it breathe, he said. Rasta goddess. Jawa. Jai. Oh, what a feeling death begins as this ending. I know how to type your love perfect, and nothing else. In the words of old Jim Young is nothing. And the white of your iris unfolds as distant purity. Remember, Rory, death to nothing. Breathe up, pour it out. Dead rash. I've learned a mere mirror, a few tricks to bring our magic back. When it lets it. Escapantheon. Escapantheon, .. They flew me through one city after another back to Columbus, fucking Ohio. I went to stay at my dad's with some sisters there, I think. One or two. My dad screamed at me another quanfuck time, and I snapped. I had written aggressive, "Please see me for me" notes on kitchen counter earlier. I ran to my sister and said, "Look, I need to speak with you. Issues exist with getting screamed at. Can you talk for 5 minutes?" She said no, not even 5 minutes. So I said, "Fine, that's it. I'm leaving and fucking killing myself." Well, she freaked out, and instead of speaking with me for 5 minutes when I needed it, she calls the cops on me, thinking she or anyone can control someone hurt, and that'll do anything other than hurt them more. I don't know or think if she even fucking cared anyways. Here we go, quick. So I slept in the cold forest outside that other night, so sad. This day I went straight to the complex near the Dunkin' fucking Donuts and called a cab to escape the cops, ditching the rope in the DD Nuts garbage receptacle, going to a Tuttle Crossing mall, and then a different, colder forest. I get picked up by the cops after avoiding half-evil tweakers in the woods by ducking down and shivering in the morning from freezing rain, putting preserved dry clothes on, picked up at the UDF. They don't have a right to arrest me, but they do. They say I don't know my rights, but I shouldn't fucking have to. They revere my orgonite heart and remove it carefully from me. I illustrate to them that I'm fine. They want to let me go, but don't, because my dad has those fucking notes from earlier on the countertop and suicidal emails. Whatever, I get pink slipped. It's not whatever, but whatever. I'm now in a psych ward. How exciting to read and write about. 2.5 weeks drain by. I keep writing this in there. 30-something pages of early segments. They're nuts in there, and so are the majority of the so-called patients. I lived on decaf coffee and peanut butter and graham crackers. They give automated tranquilizers and sedatives to near everyone who enters, though what the fuck that has to do with being suicidal is obvious it doesn't. They're nuts. They were really into hearing any story I had that had to do with sex, with their weird fucking frosty glassy eyes. They called me Leo the Lion, and I said, "My name is Lee. My name is Lee." Some fucker named Dennis was a gangster who kept threatening me. No one cared. Though they were all shocked when I put 3 posters up of nature and a musician named Jack fucking White. Thank you, Jack White. From my heart. AKA heart. I said mantras in my head from Sanskrit, and a book from a sister that used to care and may again one day named Raina helped too. And shocked were those when I said no visitors, and kept with it. Everyone who came in to speak with me I was calm with, and explained how my rights were violated and how I'd been drugged and coerced, and no one even cared what I thought because the whole fucking mess. Really that had, and chances are have, no perceptual span, aka attention span. They fought over food and played games with how many fucking peanut butter fucking packets and graham crackers I would have. I arranged a homeless shelter from inside to escape out. Instead, after leaving, I went to an old friend's house, Mike, a confused jerk, to be nice. I can't even remember the retarded evil of the next phase, but I know I stayed at several halfway houses that were wretched, nasty drama houses and then homeless shelters. I met a guitarist in a halfway house. We had a telepathic, creative, inspirational, collaborative friendship where we started a project called The Fishes. Like the Beatles. We would finish each other's musical sentences, to say the least. We had ESP, called schizophrenia, different from legitimate schiza. He gave in to his diagnosis later through a feat of cowardice. Like so many others, I everything short of hate and despise. We made music for hours each day, and I sounded terrible when I barely got my dad to calm down enough to listen, and around all others I sounded great. I escaped the halfway house, the Miles house, to go to a homeless shelter where they sporadically fought with each other around every 3 or 4 hours. I was threatened only once. I witnessed them circle around and gab in a fashion I'd never seen as a suburb kid. That moment was spectacular, actually. Still not worth it. Thou. At Kendall Manors, coded half a house, it sucked worse. Great. And one woman was like an evil, rabid hippo. Funny joke, huh? Another was glorified but callous and wrong, if that's possible. Me and Aaron kept making music. We made some covers with our originals. As we reached new levels, so did the chaos around us. I got a house in the ghetto and visited his death metal heroin addict friend's party house. I had gay sex with the interesting alpha once, Morgan. He liked Imogen Heap's singer. I forget her name. It's rare I have sex with any man. Quite rare, BTW, not like it fucking matters. I smoked a lot of heroin and shot up a few times. I learned a lot to do with metal, which is a group of genres I knew, but not as profoundly as until then. I did ketamine or Special K, and saw the web of energy around each city block unweave, and how it may operates itself. Then I projectile vomited, and the most evil one of the bunch was kind to me. Another kid was strange, though I liked him. He had knowledge, some of it to do with Crowley, and some of it other things. Also, I wanted to tell Tim my name isn't Jackson, it is Lee, FYI. Aaron and me perform open mics, and when my dad's there, I sound terrible because of his disbelieving aura that I have nothing to do with, yet still had to fucking deal with. Aaron quits when we complete our album and start to really sound phenomenal. Magic is stirring and everyone notices it. We're on the brink of shows and he doesn't care and he quits. I live in the ghetto alone, waiting for welfare SSDI to begin. And if it doesn't, I can re-kickstart those suicidal thing again. I think to myself. Columbus has a top 10 ghetto in the so-called United States. I leave my nasty one room with concrete everywhere when I have absolute need. Then and only then alone it is. I live on $25 to $40 a week from my mom and compose more of this book or decalogue, so on. Poor, self-claimed, Tesla-ish kid, huh? I don't get threatened other than some. The stress is overwhelms, though. SSDI welfare comes through. $19,000 cash instant. And $1,227 a month. I take a bus back to my ghetto room. I pack one box. I call a fucking cab. Cab takes me to a nice-ass extended stay hotel. I go shopping for basic things I've needed and missed, and for a little mobile stereo speaker pair. I book a flight to Florida. I pay child support. Other details. Change phones, cut financial and most other ties from overbearing pair rents. Get to Florida, St. Augustine, get a hotel, Anastasia Island, walk to the Atlantic Ocean, turn my phone off, have a smoke, take my orgonite heart off my neck, look at my heart, look at the ocean, unified them with a far toss and time. It sinks, sinks, sunk, sands of time eroded. Through time and sequences of waves, it merges with a tapestry of Earth's field or lattice. When I finish this composition's outro here, after this page ends, coming and being from and as my heart is ready, Gaptro patron, Gaptro, Gaptro dash 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 dash. I sit on the shores and have another smoke, gazing, staring. I missed that ocean. I love the ocean. I walk back to my hotel with Indians strict maintaining it. Beautiful Anastasia Island, like the Tori Amos song, Yes, Anastasia. I listened to Welcome to Sunny Florida by Tori Amos at first, and then lots of fresh Tori Amos. I start to look for an apartment and deal with my incessant over-involved parents' energy. They didn't even know I could feel. Hard to breathe, you know. I find a place. While disappointed there aren't any strip clubs for me to be flagrant at, which I hadn't done in years and years, though I never really cared to do that. Yet there is a sex shop where I get a $400 pelvis with all feminine parts. And other things I get too that don't quite fucking matter anyways, like the aforementioned thing that a rent, anything intrinsic of value, including lots of taxi rides and some clothes, spirit filter rolled smokes, so on. Finding a place was difficult, with memory of Vortex, Ohio, and that moment I had to make myself unfazed in a soul level when forcibly medicated. Though it was a sought-after place, as in, it was a main area couple blocks from St. Augustine Center with hawk frat-style kids there. Though they did have a Beatles poster on my door before I got there, so that was something. And I was fucking wealthy for 3 months. They could have siphoned my bank account for back child support, which is common when you first get SSDI disability, so I went to Tucker Furniture Store, got an ocean-colored couch, 20 fucking money orders made to myself, and tucked them deep in under and then in around that fucking couch. Ready to open a different account with those if need be. I furnished my 2-bedroom apartment in the heart of St. Augustine. Perfect. I had sex with my $400 fake girl while watching splash screen on my laptop of 5 different pornographies at once, including young twerkers on YouTube. Yeah. And I drank $100 Woodford Reserve whiskey bottles and Rockstar recoveries while eating frozen entrees and listening to Tori Amos. I ain't never heard earlier. I met friends in a band with Wild Plum or something in the name to start another failed project, gave a lot of my cash to others, and turned down barmaids who wanted me for my cash. Some Alabama girl was fucking stupid, and she roomed with me for a week as I was running out of cash, and 28 elements came through for Pele through Tori to go back to Hawaii. It was strange. I got a Greyhound from St. Augustine to Portland, Oregon, to a flight to Kona, Hawaii, Big Island, to a hitch from the airport to Kailua, slight south of Kona, host L, to lose my bank card and backtrack for hours on foot, and then find it and then ignore European girl idiots to speak with some delivery driver and get on a bus to Pahoa to the natty food store, Island Naturals, where the Hawaii magic did still remain. I met Meta and Sophia first, and then went out to Cinderland, where the locals then said, "Oh, where the crazies all are, huh?" Fuck you, I thought, as I went back to Cinderland for the first time in 5 years, and struck a deal with Jesus, Jesus, he's us, Jesus, Jesus, hey, so forth. Upon arrival, I met Crown, called Amandeep then, and Jessica, aka Oniniku, aka Sarasvati, and she grabbed my hand to give it a massage and hit on me when my hand had needed it from everything I'd been doing with mudras for others with it. Suffice, we hit it off so fucking perfect, right? We had semi-threesomes and I paid cash to stay at Cinderland, while they were excited about some reality show coming. Fuckers there threatened me with machetes, and near attacked me, and then acted like they were never going to, and then acted like, why wasn't I more of a man? Confused, stress-causing idiots who have no clue how difficult it is to diffuse like I do, because I don't get violent, because I outgrew that when I was fucking 11, remember? Bonneville rocks. He was there making near Hendrix-level music. Reminded me of Marilyn Manson sometimes, too, and he led the way for us, Jessica and me, to go to Pele Aina. We frequent Kahena, Bulk, Sand, Nude Beach, Seaview, Kalapana, Uncle Robert's, Space Market, Pahoa Town, Hilo, other things. Some places like that in Maui exist, too. Each island has its personality. We go to Taco Tuesdays at Cinderland, and at Kahena meet Pele herself one day, the volcanic goddess of pure beauty that carries our world. Embodied as a little girl who set someone on fire, who needed it, from 70 feet away in front of us. She was great. I have no words. Back at Pele Aina, land of Pele, one experience after another transpires. Lots and lots of Adderall and metamine appears. Jacob shows me a Kabbalistic ladder to heaven. We get there and magic this world isn't fucking ready to hear about exists. I tried to spread it. Sigh. We found a synchronometer, met Pleiadians, and I had more sex too with Alpha E supermodel-looking hippie chicks. It was then I started to stop caring of women and earthen untranscendent sexuality and love and real chunship. Fizzle. I train hopperish kids who love violence. And home bummy kids too. One is Noah, one is Kevin, one is Michael. Noah and me witness girls in Hilo Park scratch blood out of each other's faces. Get back to Pahoa, snort tweak. First time in over a year for me, and last time for quite a while after for me. And I get to the street to hitch at night, and they say, "What about the cops?" I say, "I don't care because we're already in jail." We heal someone's broken truck by driving our energy into that Punatik's truck, and we get to their farm shack where they threaten and start shoving me. Kevin stops it because he kind of cares. They take 30 pages of this book handwritten and burn it. I have since rewritten those pages. I have memories of Jessica talking about Yakuza wives and girls strapped to walls to get bitten by mosquitoes all day, then raped and fucked. Other things still. I say fuck it to everyone I gave everything to who gave nothing back ever. Or near ever whatever. I leave and start hitching to nowhere, which I'd never done. With nothing but a Bible I was given that I intended to trade for food, because I've already read it and know it complete in my heart. I gave it away instead. That mountain town didn't help me. That motorcyclist didn't help more than a teeny little. Those fucking things sound like flies anyways. Javi didn't help. Then it did. Then it didn't worse. And then it was sorry. I sleep in some fucking terrible place and then party at some rich house, help matchmake this stupid fucking couple. They thanked me. So nice of them. I sit by a park and Michael appears and says a bunch of crazy shit and attacks me. He hurt his fist more than the top of my head. He kept hitting. I leave to get no rides and no help and somehow get to Macalavena campground. Wait. I did have some help to get there at the end. Such complete fucking help. From confused idiots who don't know how to care, like that's my fault, and I had to pay for it trying to help them. Whatever. At that campground I tried to love it, like I did every day then, and still do. And it starts raining, I have no tarp, just an umbrella. So I curl into an Indian position with umbrella propped. Some family that's packing to leave knows I'm there all night and takes me back to their house. Finally, some actual compassion. I get up the next morning, the 3rd, and go to a phone shop and borrow their tablet usage for 5 minutes and get a flight to Vegas that evening. I walk to a Vegas hotel. The bruises on my head healed, my feet healed with fresh socks and dry clothes, and arrange a hotel for 3 or 4 days. I try to find love and start smoking and drinking with my Kamehameha shirt on. I don't seek love anymore. It can seek me. And sometimes it does. Who cares? I don't. The girls in Vegas insulted my shoes because they wanted me and were pissed I wouldn't do all the fucking work. Weasels they are, were, maybe. It's changed, I hope. I say fuck you all and go to find Hunter, who I kind of felt I owed. He was quite broke down looking, and I helped him and his dog Napoleon and found some alien named Gypsy who had a Merkaba sticker on the back of his synchronicity oozing friend's car. The friend oozing, not the car. Oozying. So I smoke tweak for the last time for around another year and start having magic stir and reawaken again, and me and him make music with his guitar and our vocals all fucking night. It was like a rock concert, and I freestyled to new levels. Not mediocre standard freestyle, but music you rarely hear. You know? Do you? So everything breaks after that, as it always did, and hope doesn't it. I get far flight back to a vortex named Ohio. My mom arranges a halfway house because she thinks I'm an addict. Though I've only half fucked around with substances for 22 years. Quite addicted to coffee and tobacco, though not addicted, just in love. The woman at the halfway house sees me exist for 3 weeks and notices I don't really have any addictive tendencies or urges. And all I really do is listen to music then, because it's all that fucking makes sense then. Substances are here to show us how to transcend with and then without them. All limits illustrate our unlimited nature. But it still sucks being at a halfway house. It's nice to have all the way a house. Not half of a house, or half a domain somewhere. I hate it and walk on eggshells and take buses to a quarter okay coffee shop until I find a place on the other side of town, west. This place appears nice. Then I find out the sweet couple are heroin addicts and mafia affiliated. I don't even want to get into, but I leave after a week on that cold-ass air mattress in my room, and dude's stupid fucking anger issues. I mean, these are people like everyone. People who can't pronounce polyfidelity. Or the phrase, I have transcended polyfidelitisness. I go and stay with my dad for the last time. He mocks my poverty, and I live on rice crackers. He offers me alcohol often. We watch movies because that's what he likes. In secret, I purchase a Greyhound to Shasta on the 3rd and split. Shasta in June is an incubator, limbo, percolator, brewer, marination until the Utah 2014 National Gathering of the Tribes of the Rainbow Family of Living Light. I arrived June 21st in Heber City. Castle Lake Shasta first is me, Holland, vigil up there, until some of the underage Hawaii alternative kids arrive and ask about the heart-shaped lake up there. I told them the usual spiel about how it's ours and there's rattlesnakes and they didn't care. They like to have to go through all that to get to their own fucking heart. Shtick. Anyways, I meet Gabriel there. He says he's making paths for people in nature these days in Redding. Other implications, and I then meet true traveler kids for the first time in a lifetime of Vortex, Ohio bullshit. They even had a banjo. I got high, shared info, and they returned the favor by only terrorizing me mildly. I go to Weed to catch a Greyhound and sleep with some travelers who try to convert me to go with them to nationals in their van, which has a captain. And they talk about female punk vocalists who bite penises off of people. I refer them to Eminem for that one. Much respect to Slim Shady, really. So I take a Greyhound alone because fuck that last group of all dudes. They give me a military discount, which I get paranoid about getting caught about and get to Heber City, Utah, where in Salt Lake first they try to say I was smoking weed because someone complained I smelled like it. And I wasn't, and the genius security guard knew the difference between tired bloodshot eyes and high bloodshot eyes. Bloodshot. Shining Light picks me up when I illegally hitch for 5 minutes and the locals scream, "Leave, hippies," as if I wasn't broken down fucking enough. I get to Rainbow, bored, and find a campsite, thinking, whatever. And 2 days after, they build a camp near and call it Camp Whatever, unbeknownst to myself. Everyone who appeared, I'd say, it's whatever. I see people I knew from Hawaii and the Habapod at Camp Aloha. People I made music with, someone named Haert. Others still. Thiago becomes a fucking born-again Christian. No one likes my speaker pod. I sing and cry from doing it at Instant Soup. I cry for everyone's confusion that I don't have the wherewithal to elucidate of. I sit in Instant Soup's kitchen and Annika and Meadow appear. Back when I was still trying to polyfidelitize, which I did. And thought it was a sign to have 2 girls appear at once and try to start something. Which it was, a little. Annika and Meadow start cauldroning some what they call bitchcraft comedy. They raise the energy and I even start laughing first time in forever, so I'm like, okay, let's see if they can keep this for more than 7 minutes because no one ever does. But they do. I try to get them both. We stir magic with comedy loud outside all night, and by dawn others appear and say we've heralded in the age of Aquarius. And we had. Meadow leaves and me and Annika miss her. Annika and Lee go west. She leaves with a boy to Boise, my Idaho. On my governmental dime to a Boise hotel room via a Rainbow Library school bus chock brim of neo-hippie dread-Ds, they start to treat me like some kind of an elder. I try to help them as usual. We escape the bus that's dealing with theft by searching itself all half-baked. And fuck in our hotel and get to the coolest Boise bars and clubs. There weren't many. And some Middle Eastern girl leverages her past abuse to arouse me on purpose. I'm sure there's a commentary each and every one of you may or may not would have for that. But anyhow, we go further west to Tahoe, where Annika's friends, Happy and Positive, await, camped by some place 700 yards from National Forest, like fools illegal for no reason, who smoke hash and freak out in the middle of the night when they hear noises in the woods, at which point I alter quote The Big Lebowski. Well, we are camped in the woods, dude. Perhaps it was a bear. It was back in Boise. We remembered that we met each other years before, at or as Earth Dance, through The Big Lebowski quotes. She was the girl with the carrot. Tahoe becomes us poor and going to Wanderlust in Squaw Valley. She gets in to find Danny, who utilizes gongs and a collage of singing bowls to mache everyone's consciousness. It did really bring a place back from before time, like sand sparkled air drifting back. Which reminds me of Drifter in Vegas and the cops fucking with us, keeping everyone off the bridge edge, and Rainbow having Hobo Alley and my burn from falling in the fire and pushing Ember with my hand to get back out. Wanderlust was a lot of teasery like Little Olive from the bus confused, and some GDF kids gave us Molly and it changed everything. Ecstasy can. We cried listening to music, and it started a trend of doing the same 100 times later with no ecstasy. We went to Santa Cruz with one of her friends, free ride, and stayed in Annika's plush-ass apartment with altars like her tent had generated in them from her. Her so-called roommates were one we'd met earlier at Wanderlust and hit on. Some European girl hit on us. Some other girl, aka Goddess, was mistreated by Danny a little, but then he learned. I like him, and what he does. Blessings to him, Danny with the gong. Another roommate was what humans would call a bitch. She defended herself with bathroom Bach-ish type things. Bless her soul. So, who care? I do. Regardless, I'm finishing this fucking book. And we sold her heirloom necklace for $200, and she's given cash for someone who owes her $2. After I'd gone through $1,100 for her and us, it was nice to stay in a Santa Cruz residence. We went to every high-vibe place there and brought a girl to that bed, though we didn't F-U-C-K or make intercorsal love technical. We leave her everything like I've done so many times, not that anyone should fucking have to, and go to Shasta to introduce her to it. The bay and north of its towns sucked, as often usual, but Shasta provided a Castle Lake campground. Perfect, though they were weird, and we had to relocate a mile or two south, same road. And floated around the Shasta town and chai shop. The chai shop, with Bella and Eric, is magical, and so are they. Actual great doers. As it were. Annika cries, having found a kind of home, and Bella is fey. Eric is cosmic. Though they both are both, there's a Lee opinion as a portion of that sentence may be. So we meet Rue, who doubts our instant espresso as not real coffee, and muddies me and Annika's love and pouts when, whatever, I'm done being negative right now. We go to the Bunny Flat on actual Mount Shasta for that full moon gathering to deflect Mr. Creepyfuck. Try and fuck a 17,000-year-old goddess girl who calls gas juggling to no success or avail. Alas, we meet Karma in the morning. I would like to spell it Karma, or something myself personally, but whatever. I braggadocio or our cash wealthitude and amplitude, and she likes us anyhow. And we meet Purple, another goddess too. Kick with a fae the night earlier. Still never an actual threesome had we had, but we take Karma back to Castle Lake Lower campgrounds with us because reckless factions of the rainbow had blown up the spot by raising its frequency too reckless and quick right near the lake we had to get to lower campgroundian it. Yep. We arrive and the girls say they agree. We don't need to build a fire. Who care? Too much fucking work anyways. Then we have to go and keep getting wood and shit. Who cares? I open the whiskey and smile, half pegged by readers as a typical dude with his huge cock and with selfish base urges and no sensitivity to leaving this world for lieu of a greater beauty of heart's ocean and to love. Stop reading now if you're related to Lee, until it says start reading later. So we have a really hot fucking FFM threesome, the only kind worth having, FFM. And Karma wants to hop freight soon, and she hardcore deep throats until Annika, who had helped with that earlier, has to process some things, and we wind up having to let her sleep outside. Some assholes ruin it for us the next day, as the fairy spring dried up and we went to town to get water, and Karma ran away, leaving a memento, though. I like her. We cleared our karma, I guess, we guessed. Purple appeared the same day. Or was it the day after? Any help? So fine. So Purple was pissed at her boyfriend and was violent to them, but was a nice person under that veneer. We go back to Castle Daniela and other confused ones done long gone. She doesn't like whiskey, so Annika doesn't drink, so we fuck for hours. Though it had too much build-up, it was difficult for me to make the best of it. I still did more than enough, though, and they were a great team. Me and Annika, me and Purple, made great teams to the other two. Great visual memories left out here. I prefer feeling to anything living at Earth. She bragged about her capacity to suck, and it was better from Karma. We did everything with here we would have with Karma, and vice versa. Filling in gaps. The two threesomes equaled one great one. I have to and want to give respect to all of them. They rock and are all true goddesses, and better names. So, start reading now if you're related to Lee or limited or whatever. We don't have any other sex after that, other than with each other. BTW. So a saga transpires with immature boys I don't care to recall again, and we go to Alfie's, and I don't care to recall that again either, though he is nice enough, I can say that. We go south to Grass Valley to get mistreated by Pam. Jem and Pam, I thought. But no. The string connected through the color orangey. We leave Grass Valley with people who drop packs of smokes, and I pick them up and return them to them, and shops with non-erotic pasties, whatever those are. To Big Sur to disappoint mince, wealthy morons. To San Luis Obispo area to clean up its energy once again, to Oxnard with its history and etymology, and Ventura with its ego, to Annika's Antika, who was nice and kind, to Topanga to stay with Clark, who has a long-standing relationship with Brian Warner, and is like a black tree, and magnificent, I think. And then to Ojai, which was reclusive and rude. Then Backroad National Forest campgrounds up and to the right over, then to Bishop with Old Folk, bakery style, then to Yosemite. Yosemite was frequented with bears. Bear info everywhere. Some idiot was astounded by the chemical reaction called fire. Haven't we all been? Right. We paid $20 to enter Camped. I did Benzodrex, $5 meth at your local grocer. Cleared all the energy there, and met Burners from Burning Man culture. Left back to her dragon brother who's rad. The neighbor wasn't invasive this time, and we met her kindred soul from earlier, and she was afraid of sex, and I helped Annika with her half-abusive so-called father. She flies from San Jose to a Danville, Illinois festival, Phases of the Moon. We had to skip Bhakti, it wasn't Red E. She was paid to teach a class on contact improv at I take a flight from San Jose to Chicago, Red E, like the root chakra. I bus from Chicago Airport to a fucking diner to Chicago Greyhound with its new and revamped will call podiums to Champaign, Illinois, to local intercity buses to Danville, Illinois, to local transit and its weird destroyed town landscape to get food at the Dollar Tree and to the middle of nowhere motel by a field with a room with a bath. She doesn't have service, so I can't reach her. I get sad depression and walk around to meet these two Grateful Dead goddesses plus girls, Brittany and some other fucking name, and their 2 dogs, or maybe it was 1, and it has 3 legs. I didn't notice at first. They stop us at the country road, and everyone starts partying on the country road while they start to move us in incrementalismias. We say fuck it. Get drunk with wine and whiskey, and then still more whiskey, and we get out of line and drive to the front gate with Brittany's encouragement as the mainstay, bless her. I get to the sheriff, drunk as fuck, driving with no license, wine on my breath, and tell him how I'm going to get in with this car full of girls, though we all don't have tickets. We have actual work to do on a meta level. He gets his golf cart fucking friends to escort us all in. We get to the wristband checkers front gate after we park, and they put their fake service tags on their real dogs, and black kid sees my fake purple wristband and says, "That's not a wristband, that's a piece of string." Pats my back and tells me to go ahead. I've had similar experiences since then. Like I care, I'm not sure I have a soul anymore. But I am as sure can be I have a heart. I find Annika as a group outside our tent says, "I am that I am, and that is that." She comes all over me. Sorry if you had to read that, relative release. The place was sticky with stagnant lamity. I left alone to Shasta and found a book called Oneness. In those forests there alone, I froze with not enough blankets at night. I would emerge every few days from that kind of silence and seclusion, aloneness, to find a potency further than I had had. This stupid old hermit woman was too retarded to be evil and was territorial. Then frattish adults obnoxioized the place too. I stole a plastic trash bag to put my garbage called possessions carry around in it. I went to the mountain itself and cleared energy at a place called McBride Springs with the normies who wanted to enlighten, and I bridged it alone, because no one else cares, you know. I went alone to Reno when I had cash again after living on church food and finding it was too difficult to get an India visa through just yet. In Reno I did meth for the last time in a while as I see it, if ever, and tossed all kinds of energy off my aura, and had epiphanies of simultaneous music project startup while housing arrangementing. The book Oneness is great too, and I go to a local karaoke bar after an accidentally found concert with punk rappers led to a cab ride with info of that is the bar to go to if you don't want to go to a tourist Reno bar. At that bar, Jeanette gloms to me and takes me back to her place and keeps me there where she get quite rough with her own throat. I don't know why she was so obsessed with it, but I don't mind, I guess. Always I guess these days. Reno falls apart as she kept implying more and more violent curiosities she has, and I go to Tahoe alone, taking her keys against my will and recycling them. In Tahoe, I get given 2 free nights in 2 different hotels, which had never happened to me before then. I try to hitch south where it isn't cold so I can survive. My $854 a month was difficult to stretch with all those chaoses. I get a ride that near insists I go to Sacramento, which was, of course, vortexing me. In Sacramento, I get wired cash and stay in a motel. Search all town to find no bar with any unnorm culture. Everyone there sucked except 2 minutes with one person who had turned a star for 3 folds. I have to sleep outside at the Denny's in the bushes with rats. I have no blanket and ask literal 11 people who say no blanket for you. Look at the cool Yamaha motorcycle, though they say. I try to hitch for days and no one cares. I get a hotel to give towels and sweatshirts left by guests and sleep with the rats. My mom snaps and starts to care a little and arranges a Vortex hotel in Ohio. She gets irritated when I say I'm leaving on the 3rd, 7 days after this page types itself through me, and also from me. I drink some rum and finish this book in around 4 days. Chapter Belize to finish, after the first portion written over a year ago took 6 to 8 months. The first part was extraordinarily difficult, and a lot of it is sad and lame and a flaming piece of shit majoritarily because of a host of environmental cause. These last 80 pages are pathetic and rushed because of the same causes. I got some fresh music, and I like it. Counting Crow, Sia, Eminem, Perfect Circle, Pucifer, Rihanna, Stabbing Westward, Tiffany, Carla Bonoff, others. I have more Tool and Tory and Sublime and others to get soon. I'm drinking my last can of miniature Mountain Dew. I smoke American Spirit Rolly tobacco in a red cap pipe tobacco bag with pure hemp Bob Marley papers and raw pure filters. We did everything we could to help. I got a book about Krishna that reminded me of my days with Bhagavad Gita, and it became a profound thing later until I gave it away still later. Some stupid vortexes. Us to some town. Don't care to restate it, Giano. We meet Meadow in no chronology to Boulder. Things weren't ready for out of a constrained box love. I masturbate and get bored with like everything else. I field all energy fucking with me around me. This book is done. I can feel my travels around Haert ending. An ocean of heart is inevitable. Love. Outro. Outro. Dash, 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 dash. So next, I think, in terms of creative travel, is another music project, when it's right and when it's ready. And I'm not the only motivated one to start it. Also, book 6 is Two Are Missing from Petty Theft, is Heart Ocean. An extended love poem and fiction story novel bridged as one. The music project notion is basically the same thing. I need to get dentures. I have 14 teeth that remain. I need more cash to survive, and maybe a little better than survive, I hope. I'm weary and jaded, though really keeping. Heart. Postscript. Lucia Timobe Rasta. 1 dash 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 dash. I completed this book, other than its postscript. Cash came day early. Regardless, I roused a morning of 11/3/14. From that Holiday Inn, recharged enough. I walked to that local Worthington, Columbus, Ohio, America, Earth, Ohm bus stop a mile down that road at North High Street and Larimer-ish. After 30 minutes, it arrived, and I was swept south for 45 minutes through Columbus, Ohio to downtown Greyhound Terminal. There I redeemed a ticket to West Palm Beach, near Miami, Florida, this book digitally saved and binded in my bag as well. I waited a few hours, then went south, watching the cold roll away in Tennessee, Kentucky area. Atlanta was heated, though blustery. West Palm Beach was great. I got off on Datura Street. A coffee shop was near that bus stop to north it to Jupiter. I walked in, asked for one pastry-ish things and Mocha Town. We go to sit down, get online, arrange everything, as my goal was to stay in Port St. Lucie at the time. I get it all perfect and walk out back to Outro bus station. As I leave, the kids coffeeing say, "Okay, we can do anything now." 3 So I bused to Jupiter. I booked a hotel there and took a cab out to a piece of beach by its resort. I can't describe its night, though I can feel its silver and its black and its waters of release. A void that always calls. I went $25 glass of Macallan whiskey to walk back to my hotel. From there it was walks around Jupiter, McDonald's of Jupiter, a shuttle west Port St. Lucie, and a walk to its Starbucks before its hotel. That woman at that Starbucks was so sweet and so kind. I spent days finding a Port St. Lucie Craigslist. From here comes a quick pace of notifications, stimpfully 4 Only one had a good feel. It was 420 friendly. I went to that Orange Julius and got ridden to it. Port St. Lucie, a bedroom community. A spirit of beauty was with that place. She called herself the lady of that place. Its shores were Siddhartha. So 3 months of bullshit and leagues of then becoming painful walking later disembarked to Jamaica. It was a walk to the Port St. Lucie diner, a taxi to the Loves, with the Greyhound terminal in it, Fort Pierce, a night of India-run hotel and arrangings, and a bus south through to Miami International Airport. West Palm Beach again was dank. I smoked outside the terminal zone of those non-smokers. Cops looked at me funny, like, "You follow the rules?" Fort Lauderdale made dank sense. And Miami Airport. I sat there and waited in the park, where you can smoke and where there is, with a circle of international flags we each say belong to each of those places we called nations. Sitting there, I said, "Rastafari," while looking at the one green palm that still reached highest to the sky in the center, fresh. 5 And so then I faliad to the Jamaica man. "25 hours of airport, 2 hours of flight, 14 minutes of customs." I get to the last stand of customs and she says her password is, to another woman phone, "Time to relax." 6 I walk through its entrance doors. They proposition me for a Digicel phone deal. I say, "Look, is there a payphone anywhere? All I really need is a payphone." They say, "Talk to that customer service desk then." Sigh, yaman. I do, and the taxi drivers swarm, and they then have sympathy. I call to no avail. Guest houses, aka hostels. I say, "Look, man, can I get a ride to downtown to an internet cafe for $100 Jamaican, $1 US? No, bruh, 1,000. Negotiation, and I'm internet cafeing then. I walk in, the confusion, it all clears because the taxis are route taxes. You see? And this energy dissipates around away from us and from each other until we see clearly into each other, EYES, like a cone of energy stimpling clarify from intrafiel, extraperipheral. Guest houses, Bethel is nice. I get there to find and around carousel repetitioning of Frank Lai, it's archetypal. 7 A. And it was first, well, one after another. You smoke ganja alone, and it's like your own unique meditation. Reggae Rasta, dance hall, and the other urban R's and B's, music get playered and Rasta. Rastafari comes clear through its gang stars and its locales. Rasta man, knows no bounds, no gender, no nothing. Love, actually, love. Ka 22215 11:11 that evening. Haert.